Welcome back, everybody. This is Rise Above. As always, my name is Mario, and if this is your first time joining us, then I want to say welcome to my little palace here. Now, I created Rise Above to explain to everybody that the path to transformation is all around you. But if you know anything about change, you know that it all starts up here. And in order to really hold on to any sort of transformation, to hold on to anything worth keeping in your life, the first thing you have to think about is how is it that I created this life that I don't want anymore? And well, the truth is, in order to understand the outside world, you have to understand the inside, the internal. And one thing that I've actually enjoyed learning a lot in the last few years is about the power of the mind, about what subconscious really means, and and understanding energy and how it all ties in together to the life I had before, the life I have now, and the life that I want for you guys. So in this episode, what I want to do is kind of, as the title says, make you be aware of where are your thoughts really coming from. Because you see, the truth is everybody in 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 one way or another is split into two. We're constantly battling ourselves, battling our mind, especially when we get into into the area of transformation. Because when you decide to make a change, when you decide to transform, you're now going against all your lifelong beliefs, your subconscious habits, your thoughts, your programming. And one thing that most people don't understand that even if you're now making changes to produce a better life, your brain is going to keep trying to get you back to your old life because that's where it's safe. That's where your brain feels safe. That's where it's used to being. And unless you understand that, you're going to keep thinking that a lot of the thoughts you're having, a lot of these things that you trip yourself up with are because you yourself don't believe in in being somebody that you wanted to be, and that's just not the case. The truth is, we're programmed at a very early age to believe certain things, to have certain limitations, and unless you become aware of how to not only recognize them, their patterns really, and how to disrupt them, you're gonna keep stumbling and you're gonna get frustrated because you're gonna think that you're not making progress. But the truth is, just by the act of being aware, you're actually breaking down your old subconscious habits and creating a new life, a new mindset. So the first thing we need to understand is your subconscious. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong, but it's all right. It's not what it's about. So your subconscious is the way I've understand it, and I hope I explained this without getting too tripped up here on my words, which is the way your subconscious works is it's gonna constantly try to keep you in a place where you're comfortable, where you're safe, even if it means that you're doing harm to yourself. So if you start to eat better, if you start to feed your mind with the right things, at a certain point, your brain is going to start telling you, you know what, just give up, go back to what you were doing, because when we were doing that, guess what? We were safe. This new thing that we're doing here, this thing about learning about personal development, about how to improve. This is causing a lot of pain, and we need to go back. We need to go back to the life we had where everything was just easier. We had friends around us that made us feel good about ourselves, and we can go out and drink. You're now sitting here by yourself. You're sitting at this gym by yourself. You're sitting at this library by yourself. This is pain. This is your subconscious trying to trick you into making you go back to the life that you don't want anymore. Let's see, we got somebody in here. Gangster, what's going on? Lamb the beef. So the first thing you have to understand is that in the beginning, and truthfully the rest of your life, but especially in the beginning of a transformation, you're going to be fighting against yourself. You're going to be fighting against yourself, and you're going to be fighting with the outside world because you're going to have so many people that have been so used to the old version of you, the one that was always there for them, that now that you've decided to be here for yourself, it's going to make people uncomfortable. It's going to make people start to look at themselves and realize that they're not living up to their own standards, that they have their own limiting beliefs that you're now exposing just by you beginning to elevate and separate yourself from everybody. And you're even going to have people that truly love you and want the best for you, and they don't want to see you go. That's just what it comes down to. So whatever the case is, you have to put that aside because you're already going to be fighting your own battle with yourself. So the first thing you have to understand is, like I said, you're gonna have your own mind trying to trick you and trip you up in the beginning. You have to be able to understand where your thoughts are coming from. And the best way I can explain this is you have to understand we're all divine creatures. We all have godlike tendencies in front of us because the truth is we were made in God's image. There's not a single person on this universe that does not have the, how can I explain this? Does not have everything within them that's that will make them possible to become somebody spectacular. Let's see who we got here. Facts. Hayden Potter, what's going on? So let me try to give you guys an example here. Oh shoot. All right, kind of lost it there. It's all right. So now once you start to understand subconscious, you can understand energy because at the same time we're all energy. We are all operating on an energy field, and your subconscious is going to try to keep you functioning at the energy level that you've been at for a long time. And you have to start you have to start separating your thoughts from either your conscious or your subconscious thoughts. Your conscious thoughts are going to be the ones based off your emotions, off the things you're feeling. Your subconscious doesn't care about what you're feeling. It just knows what it's used to. And the way you're going to get your subconscious to start moving away from that and start pushing you towards a better life is by understanding that your subconscious is directly connected to your emotions. You see, if you can't learn how to control your emotions, then your subconscious is going to keep holding you back because the way that this works is when you have an emotion, that's going to trigger a thought, and your thought is then going to turn into a real life action. So any emotion you have has to be expressed in the physical world. It's just what it is. That's just facts right there. Let's see who we got here. John Hash, I have Holy Ghost me to advise on me. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You see, you gotta follow. You gotta make sure you're following those right voices because at the same time, you're gonna have another voice that's gonna continue to try to keep you down. And the best way that I've been able to kind of make sure that I'm on the right path every day and not taking a step back is by saying, is this something that God wants me to do? Or is this something that the devil would want me to do? Because the devil wants to keep you comfortable. You see, this is something that most people don't understand. The devil has no power. God has all the power, but the only thing the devil can do is make you make you create your own hell in this life by keeping you distracted, by keeping you in your addictions. But most importantly, and this is where most people fall into this category, which is he's going to kill you with comfort and God's going to push you. You see, people are always praying to God for better situations when really they should be praying to God to be more knowledgeable, to give them more wisdom, to give them more courage to take on the things that they've been avoiding doing. Meanwhile, you're going to have thoughts that are going to come in that are going to say, you know what, you've been doing good. Today's the day to just chill out, have a beer, smoke a joint, whatever it is, and you'll get back to it tomorrow. You can't listen to that voice. You see, that's what it is right there. That's your subconscious talking to you. So you have to be able to recognize it and smash it right then and there, point blank. The second thing you're gonna have to start focusing on is what things are you doing in your everyday life and what kind of people are you surrounding yourself around that are affecting your energy. Because if you're constantly around people that are draining your energy, if you're constantly doing things that are keeping you in a low state of energy, then you're simply just not going to have enough of it to get you up, especially when you're getting knocked down. So this is where exercising, this is where eating clean, this is where feeding your mind with positive things are all going to come into play. You see, you in order to have this life that you want, it's not a simple one answer kind of thing. You're going to have to you're going to have to find each part of your life and see where it is that you're leaking out energy, so to speak. You got to picture yourself as a hot air balloon. This is what I'm going to say. A hot air balloon can go up sky high, but if somebody comes and starts poking holes as it's going up, it's only going to get so high before it comes crashing down. You have to be able to protect your energy. You protect your energy by protecting the things that you know are going to keep you in a positive state. So recognizing your subconscious, understanding energy, and this is where I'm going to lose most of you guys, and that's all right. But lastly, and most importantly, is what kind of relationship do you have with God? That's just what it comes down to. Nothing is possible without Him. No good, no good in this world comes without Him first. That's just that's just cold hard facts right there. So if you think that you're responsible for everything that's good in your life, then you also have to be able to say you're responsible for everything that's bad. And that's where most people will say, well, that's not me. That person's responsible for what's bad. I'm only responsible for what's good. And that's just not the case. And you have to understand that God has a purpose for you. And God's going to give you that purpose through your pain. You see, you can't run away from the things that are causing you pain. You have to now be able to turn around and look it straight in the eye and go through it. And as you go through it and you go through the pain of actually dealing with it, you come out the other side a new person. You come out who God actually intended you to be. And once you come out the other side, you'll be able to understand that your subconscious and your energy are now operating on a whole new level. And when you do that, you start attracting things in your life that are going to keep giving you more and more momentum to keep going. God's going to keep putting things in your life that are going to help elevate you, but He's also going to put obstacles in your life to see how serious you are about this new life of yours that you want to make. So don't look at setbacks, don't look at times that you fall on your ass as somehow your subconscious tricking you into telling you, you see, I told you we should have just stayed where we were at. You see, when Moses brought the slaves out of Egypt, and I didn't know this till I started reading the Bible. When he brought the slaves out of Egypt, they complained the whole time because they were hungry, they were tired, and they were constantly in his ear telling him, "Why did you take us out of Egypt? We were fine, we were there. We were fed, we had a home. Now look at us. We're here in the wilderness. We're following you because you told us God wanted us out here." And when you go through a real transformation, it's pretty much the same. There's gonna be times where you're gonna look at yourself, you're gonna ask God, why isn't this easier? I thought things were supposed to get easier when I get better. And the truth is, things are gonna get harder because you're now actually taking on the things that you've been avoiding for a long time. The things that you've been drinking away, that you've been hiding from, you're now going to be standing dead center in front of them and saying, "All right, here I am." You're going to go toe to toe, and now your subconscious can't do anything about it. All the people that have been trying to hold you back can't do anything about it. Now it's you versus you. That's what it comes down to. And the moment that the person that you were intended to be comes out on top, you'll start to you'll start to feel something that you've never felt before, which is a recognition of how powerful you truly are. Because once you start living this life and you start looking back at who you were a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, you'll pull yourself farther and farther away from that person till eventually you'll now be operating with a new subconscious. You'll have a new bottom, so to speak, and you want to continue to elevate that. You see, that's how you create a new and better life, is by continuously creating a bottom floor for yourself and making it higher and higher. So that way, if you fall back, you know that you're not going to fall back farther than that bottom floor. Now, will there be times where you may fall a little bit more than you intended? Sure, it's happened to everybody. It's happened to me. But the key is not to stay there. The key is to be able to dust yourself off, get up, and keep climbing. You've been digging a hole for years now, and now you're building a staircase out. And there's going to be times where you're going to be where you're going to slip because it's dirty, it's muddy. We're in the trenches now, baby. Like that's what it is. So understand that anything you go through moving forward, if you're doing it with the clear mind and the clear goal of improving yourself, then you got to take every battle, every scar as a witness to what you're doing, as a testimony to what you're doing for your purpose. So don't let anybody don't let anybody try to hold you down because you're doing things that they're not willing to do. Most people talk a loud game but won't do anything when the time comes. Majority of the times is because most people can't take being criticized. And this is where being able to control your emotions comes back into the picture. Because you see, most people won't change because they're so scared about losing friends, losing coworkers, not being invited, being an outcast. Like I said earlier, it's a lonely road once you start leveling yourself up to greatness. But once you get through the first couple barriers of of feeling of how can I say, once God puts the first few obstacles in front of you and you're able to knock them down and keep going, I promise you it gets easier to be by yourself. Eventually you start to appreciate that that time with yourself, because what you're doing is you're now molding yourself to become the version that you always wanted to be, and more importantly, the one that God always wanted you to be. And eventually, God is going to put you in the situation that you were truthfully intended for. God didn't create you to spend all your time hanging out at bars. God put you to put God put you here to do something great with your life, and you know that. And that's why you have this hole, this fire in you now, because you know that you've been living way below what you're capable of. So start to start to understand and learn and research about subconscious, about about energy, about what things are draining you from your energy. You might have somebody that you work with or that you know that you see is always up here, and you're always like, man, this person, I don't know how they get up every day, and I never see them upset. I always see them just going after it. And I'm sure there was a time where it probably annoyed you. You probably didn't want anything to do with it because just like everybody else, it made you look at yourself and think, yeah, you know what, it would be nice, but that's not who I am. That's not who I've ever been. But now that you've elevated yourself to this new persona, that now you're going to look for those kind of people to be around, so you can feed off their energy and they can feed off yours, because it's let me tell you right now, it's a beautiful thing when you have people who look at you and say, damn, how is he doing it? How did he get there from when I remember when he was here, and how can I get there? And then what's more amazing is you go from being the student to being the teacher. When that happens, it's a whole new game, baby, because now you have a responsibility. You see? And that's why I'm doing this, because I was able to pull myself, pull myself out of every hole that you can think of, almost every addiction that you can think of. I've been there and I've come over on the other side alive. I've lost friends to a lot of addictions. I've lost jobs to addictions in the past. I've ruined friendships, and now it's my turn to pay it forward. And that's why I do what I do, which is I try to get on here as much as possible for you guys. So if you're on here still and you're watching this, make sure you check out our channel, check out all the content I have on there, because we're not stopping, we're not slowing down, we're just getting started actually. This is right above anybody that's willing to take on all the shit that everybody tries to throw at us. Man, we're doing this together. We're gonna get healthy, we're gonna get stronger, and we're gonna get mentally fit so nobody can break through. All right, you guys, I'm gonna let you guys go because I gotta get some sleep tonight. I gotta be up in a few hours. We'll talk again tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.